Hello, everybody. Welcome to Toadstool Tarot.
I don't think we're on yet. I have it up on my phone.
Oh, well, there's should
A
be
lag.
a
There we go.
20-second delay,
Yeah.
and so we'll see. I don't know if I'm repeating myself for
Yeah.
everybody out there, but welcome to Toadstool Tarot. And I don't know if you're going to be getting if you're following on YouTube as well as StreamYard, you might get a repeat or an echo.
Yes.
If that's the case, turn the volume off on the YouTube one.
Yeah. I got that down. It's frozen though, the screen. But yeah. Oh well. I might just close out of it. I was gonna just try to keep up on the chat, so I
Well,
think
we
there's
have,
some people here.
are you seeing the chat in StreamYard or no?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So,
I know there's a delay on that, so
yeah, I think it's like 20 seconds. So they'll just
okay.
have to wait on us.
Yeah.
Real time madness. So
Yeah.
we have Blue Crescent Tarot, Regina, and Aquarius Owl. Hello.
Hi.
To arrive today.
Woohoo.
I saw Deanne went live this morning, but I
Yeah.
missed it somehow.
Yeah.
But I saw it later, so we might get into some stuff there a little bit about what she was talking about because that kind of intrigued me.
Yeah. I was there. Me and Jackie and Chris attended it. So it was nice. We got to meet her kid.
Yeah, I saw at the very end there. Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't get any heads up warning, or I'd have been there too. So there we go. Here comes Mendy and Chris. So
Hi.
everybody.
So how
We'll
are you seeing that? Or do you have YouTube up
No,
on your
I have the StreamYard chat.
Oh, because I'm in the private chat. That's why. Okay, there we go. Hi. Oh, I see everyone now. Hi, Chris. Hi, Mandy. Hi, Deanne.
So my
And
special guest today, guys, is Kristen Louise, if you couldn't tell already. And Chris is not with us today. I think I screwed up. I changed the announcement for the group, and I sort of rebranded it for the new year, but I didn't get in touch with him, and I think he thought maybe we weren't doing tag team anymore, but that wasn't my intention. But Longman Tarot, Richard is here. Welcome.
yes, hi, Longman Tarot. Let's see.
Mandy wants to know why my name isn't Robin Louise. Well, I think it will be from now on in
Yeah,
the Sunday things that Jilly does, but that's because of Jamie Kelly.
yeah,
So you
yes.
can pin
Apparently,
that.
yes, but my middle name is very popular now. Everyone must be named after me.
Well, I'm almost there because my middle name is Lee, which isn't far off from Louise.
No, not at all. I do sometimes get Lewis, Kristen
Uh,
Lewis. Yes. So,
Hello, Whispers of Three. I don't think I know
yeah.
who that is.
No, I've never seen that name.
Um, so I wanted to catch up on a few little things. I I think I showed this last time. I haven't been on here. Well, I was on here. I forget. Were you in the Christmas party that I had? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the last time we were on here. And then the time before that with Chris, we did a Soprafino walkthrough, and I really didn't pay enough attention to the chat room. So I'm hoping to make up for it tonight.
Yeah. So
But
that's funny because I actually got the Ancient Italian Tarot just like yesterday, I think it came in. So
I don't know if you saw my side-by-side walkthrough. It's close, but not. It's close enough to be intriguingly different.
yes.
But it is different, and that's
Yeah.
why I went and got the Soprafino too. Hey, Jackie.
Hi, Jackie.
So before Christmas, a lot of my Christmas gifts to myself are coming late, but one of my early ones, I bought this bell. I don't really do a tree anymore, but I have all these like miniature Christmas trees that I collect
Uh-huh.
and put all around. And I saw this bell on Etsy and I loved it and I bought it, and it turned out to be bigger than I thought. And it actually has a sound like an old country school bell.
Yeah.
But I found another one on there that's smaller that just came since last time. And this one sounds like a little shop bell. You know
Aww.
that kind of sound when you open the door to like a
Yes.
boutique or something. So I'm kind of loving the two of them.
Yeah, the large one sounds like the second note of "We Wish You a Merry Christmas." Dun dun da 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 dun.
I don't know. We'd have to pay copyright on that. I don't know how YouTube works with that. It's probably in public domain by now.
Yeah, it probably, but I think you're allowed to play like 5 seconds of a song or something like that before it's copyrighted or something.
Well, I had actually wanted to ask Chris a question, and you can ring in on this. Ring in, no pun intended. But I self-identify with the Three of Wands from the RWS deck. That's sort of like my card. And when I saw the two trees, it made me think of the Two of Wands.
Yes.
So I'm thinking about the numerical. Mandy might ring in on this too. I'm thinking about the numerical progression from 2 to 10. And even though we're going from 2 to 3, if Three of Wands is my favorite, if I go from 3 back to 2, is it a step backwards or just a different direction? Because I often see the Three of Wands as like standing on the brink trying to decide what your next move is going to be. That image from the RWS is standing, just behind and between those two wands with, I think, a third wand in hand. Is sort of, I look at that as like, here I am overlooking the bay, and all these ships and all these possibilities. The world is out there. Now, what do I do? What step do I want to make? Where do I want to go next? Whereas when I look at the two, you've got the guy standing between the two wands and he's holding the world in the palm of his hand. So it's like he's got the whole world in his hands. It's like he's got all the possibilities there. And somehow that seems almost like it might come later than the 3, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. I see the the Two of Wands, I see as sort of the map maker. Like you're making the map for your travels. You're going over the terrain. You're thinking about where you want to go. Like what are your options? And then the Three of Wands is saying, okay, I have all these ships available to me. I'm ready to start my journey. So.
I know the ships are sort of in the distance. I never gave them that much credit for maybe coming to take me away.
Yeah.
I always think of them as like passing in the distance, like,
Gotcha.
it's not part of me. They're doing their own thing. I never think of them as coming to get me, or maybe I've just gotten off the ship and they're leaving or something. I just think of me kind of standing on the brink, deciding what am I going to do next.
Yeah, that's interesting. Like we have a different understanding of it. And yours might be more in line with how it's understood. Like I see it as calling the ships to port,
Yeah, I think everybody's got their own thing. I think Chris has a really different viewpoint. I haven't run across anybody else that feels about it the same way I do. So I think a lot of people have different notions about it. I got some other stuff. I got 3 packages in the mail today, and none of them were kind of what I expected. I got some reading glasses that I found online that I like. I particularly like glasses that are eye-shaped, and I have this one pair that I'd gotten at Walgreens that's kind of falling apart. And I kind of feel like all glasses should follow the shape of the human eye. And most glasses out there are rectangles. And I just don't think eyes should be put in picture frames somehow. So I like these, but I found these other ones that are also eye-shaped, but they're just a little bit smaller, and I went ahead and ordered them. I'm not sure though about the color or the size. I don't like them quite as much as that other shape, which is a little bit bigger.
Yeah, I like the other ones better.
And the color of these is kind of washed out or whatever. But then after I got these, I thought, well, I'll try them out. They're like reading glasses for computer work.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, as you know, we've got this small text on the screen in the chat and stuff that I'm looking at all the time. And so I after I ordered these, I found like a 6-pack in different colors, and one of them had like dark lenses in it too. I thought, oh, I'll go ahead and get those too, because this shape is really hard to find. So
yes,
but it came in a little hard shell, kind of little case with a zipper, which is kind of nice, and they were cheap. I can't remember how much they were, but I think it was like, I know it was under 20. It might have been under 10. And then if you're an old folk like me, besides needing reading glasses, you get other weird stuff in the mail. I got a package from my, I re-signed up with my health insurance company, and they sent me a package, and I thought, what could they be sending me? You know, I know I'm a diabetic. Maybe there's diabetes supplies or something. What? So they sent me this. It's a pill organizer. Anybody out there knows if you're my age, you take a lot of pills and they need organizing. But this is bizarre. It's like
that's interesting.
days of the week, and each one pops out, and
yeah, it's like your pride pills. Yeah.
Doing Eve in bed, you know, it's like, well, I can really organize now. But it looks like something from a science lab or something.
Yeah, absolutely. See, my mother has one. She takes so many pills in the morning, afternoon, and evening. They actually send it to her in this giant roll. And so like they're all in little packets. So she has a morning packet and she just rips it off. So
that's good, because yeah, I wonder at what point I'm going to get like too wigged out that I can't remember what pills to take. Because Sunday night I sit down with a little lap tray and all my bottles, and it was like playing solitaire or something, putting all the pills in each day's pocket, you know, for morning.
yeah.
And then I'm set for the week once I do that. But you know, you have to do it once a week.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Justin just popped in.
Yeah,
hello.
hi Justin.
Then
did Chris ever answer you about the 2 of Wands or 3 of Wands?
No, I've been keeping an eye on the chat.
Yeah.
But, no, and nobody else.
Yeah. So, like, I don't know if it's a step back or, I mean, you could see them both happening at the same time along a specific process of travel and decision, and because you're always sort of doing that sort of dance between planning and doing. So
well, I think it might be. Oh, he wants to know what we ask. So Chris, you know, my card is the 3 of Wands, and I said when I got the second brass bell and the two trees reminded me of the 2 of Wands, because the wands in the RWS have little leaves on them like trees. So that came to mind, and I was thinking, oh, that's an interesting juxtaposition for the 3 of Wands to receive a 2 of Wands symbol. And I was thinking about the progression numerically from 3 back to 2. Is it a step backward or could it be a step forward? But I don't know. You know, I'm not really sure how much numerology weighs into the RWS so much as it does in something like the Marseille.
mm-hmm.
And but anyway, so Chris, I was thinking that my view of it is that the 3 of Wands is me trying to decide what step forward to take. You know, what's the next step? And the 2 of Wands is holding the world in the hand, so it's like there's all kinds of possibilities out there. You know, it's almost like more of the decisions made for me. It's like the 3 of Wands is kind of standing still and not moving forward. The 2 of Wands, you've got that globe there. It's like, okay, I'm ready to go. The world's out there for me, you know. Maybe it's too open or there are too many possibilities. I don't know. He says, I see the 2 as being the phase where you plan out your journey. The 3 is where you start taking action when you take the first steps, which I think is what you said, right?
Yeah, yes.
So, yeah, so that's a little different. The other package I got today actually was a tarot, and I was surprised. I ordered from Printer Studio, which I haven't in a while, and I wasn't expecting arrival for at least from Wednesday to maybe another week, and it came really quickly. I think it was only like 8 days to create these cards and ship them to me. But I think, and I think they're in California. I'm not really sure. But I saw these. I don't know if you're familiar with this Facebook channel with Paris de Bono. He has a channel called Tarot. It's mostly he has a. I think he's from Australia, and I think he has a little fortune telling shop, and he also has designed, I don't know, like 15 to 20 different decks, and they're all available at Printer Studio. And one of the things I like about him, I can't remember if it was you or Deanne that said they like smaller cards. Was that you or was that her? Maybe it was her.
I think it was Deanne, if it were one of us.
Because
So.
I tend to prefer smaller cards. In fact, I've kind of sworn off Oracle decks.
Yeah, I don't like. No, I can't do that.
And I mean, my limit now is tarot size cards and standard tarot, not like oversized ones. So, but I really like smaller ones. And so he had these, a lot of his decks are these playing card size ones. And I've been wanting for the longest time a black and white RWS.
Oh, nice.
Outlines. And so it was kind of a double treat that he had a black and white one and that they're in playing card size. So I ordered those. And this particular deck also comes with an additional 12 color cards that are zodiac cards. So I don't know what I'm going to do with because I don't do astrological stuff, but I'm not real tickled about the design on the back. I don't mind the kind of wavy thing, but he's got his like little logo.
Yeah. Oh, I hate that. I hate that.
But I get it. I mean, it's his business. He has a shop. He sells stuff. All the decks in his line have the same backs.
Gotcha.
So it's a marketing branding tool, and I get it. I just am not fond of it.
Yes.
By choice, I wouldn't do it.
At least his looks sort of occulty, though. You know, with the hand. Like the one that I'm actually sending to someone just as a gift because I don't use it is the Bridge Witches Tarot, and the back has BWT like really big across it, and I'm just not fond of it.
Yeah. So these are a little bit, they're not really thick. They're slightly glossy. And they're kind of simplified RWS. They're redrawn. They don't have all the details. Like, for instance, you can see there's no trees or anything in the Magician. But it has, which when you look at those, a Printer Studio and make playing cards, they just give you those teeny little thumbnails, and it's really hard to pick up on the details. But this looked close enough that I thought, I'm going to give it a shot. So, and also, these are not, how do I put this?
Hi, Jonathan. Hi, Ishi.
I thought the outlines would be nice, sharp, and clear. They almost look, I think he planned it, but they almost look like, if you know what like a photocopy looks like when your toner's running out.
Yes.
And so like it goes from like darker lines to like more gray lines and stuff. And I think it was a stylistic choice on his part, not an accident, but it has that look, and it's something I'm I'm just going to have to get used to.
Can you
But
hold it up? Can I see that?
trying to see if I can find one. Oh, here, the Emperor is particularly gray. I don't know
Oh,
if you can pick up on it.
that's interesting. Yeah.
And also some of the expressions, like that expression on the Emperor is like very different. It's sort of redrawn a bit.
Mhm.
And I noticed particularly on the Moon card, the face on the Moon was restylized or changed. It's this feminine face.
Oh, well, that's nice.
It's not bad, but it's not what I'm used to. It's kind
Yeah.
of, it's a little glamorized for me for the
Mhm.
oh,
Yeah.
the sun's a little bit different too. It's all right. But
Yeah.
generally speaking, it looks like he traced the RWS, and I kind of wondered whether he had resized them or something, because they're formatted generally for a tarot size, and this
Mhm.
is a different frame.
Yeah,
In
you'd have to truncate it,
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they don't really look particularly wide or fat or anything. Oh, what he did do is he doesn't have labels on the bottoms. He has them like on the card, which I could do without because I know them all. But
Mhm.
if you don't know the tarot, I guess it's probably necessary.
Mhm.
Let me see if I can find a pip one here. The Six of Coins. It's kind of like buried there in the bottom. So
Oh.
it's not in its own little label area. It's part of the image. But since you don't have colors and textures in the wardrobe, there's a lot of white area, with
See,
the out.
I like that because otherwise you'll lose the images. Like the Yggdrasil Oracle, like I didn't get that because I was like, that is way too busy. It's black and white and it's really busy. You see everything in the background and everything. And I couldn't visually, piece out what I was seeing.
Yeah, I like the simplicity of this, and I have so many RWS decks, but I've been wanting for the longest time a black and white one, and I don't know if this quite meets my expectations or standards, but it'll do until the real thing comes along.
See, I'm so picky. I can't do it'll do. I'd be like, I can't. I'm gonna get rid of this. It must be
well, I
perfect.
just I'm once I it's funny. I know people that collect dozens of RWS decks,
Hmm.
and I have quite a few, but I don't have them all. And when I collect them, it's sort of like looking for the holy grail, looking for the perfect one for me. And once I find it, I can get rid of all the other ones that I've collected along the way. But
Hmm.
I'm not holding off until that one shows up to keep from getting any.
Hmm.
So this will satisfy me in terms of my black and white need for an RWS and my playing card size need for an RWS until a better version with a better back and sharper
Hmm.
lines comes along.
Yeah, I only have one RWS, and it's the Vintage Pam. I'd like to get the Radiant Wise though, but yeah, I don't need multiple RWSs.
Do you have the one that they call the Dirty Pam, or is yours a different one?
No, it's a different one. I mean, it looks dirtier than the Dirty Pam, but yeah, no, the Vintage Pam is, and I think that's the Radiant Wise. That's the Dirty
That was
Pam.
redone as Radiant Wise, but I can't
Hmm.
remember what it was originally called before that. The
I
one
don't
you
know.
have, is that from what's her name, Lucky Card or something, or is it mass produced? Is it mass
I
market?
What, the Radiant Wise or?
No, the
Yeah.
one you have.
Oh yeah, that's mass produced.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
Okay, I'm not sure which one that is. It's not the
Yeah.
original one with the purple and white, the one that
No,
goes.
it's I don't have it on me. It's upstairs, but it just looks old.
Oh,
There's no borders. Yeah, there's no numbers on them, and then or names.
oh,
So you just have to know the deck.
okay. I didn't get to say hello to Ishi and Jonathan, so
Yeah.
welcome. And I should double check because chat's been flying by. I don't want to ignore everybody again.
Looks like Mindy's having problems with the house people calling her. Oh,
no.
I'm sorry.
I was actually, I know she's having a lot of trouble with them, but considering the story she told, I thought she wasn't going to be able to get them out by the first of the month because they had wanted to stay a few days longer. And so
I
I thought,
think they were like, no.
I thought, well,
That was
you
my
know,
understanding.
that must be as awful as they left it. It must be a relief to just have them out, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks like she's still dealing with business with them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She's missing the whole video. It's pissing her off. She's dealing
Yeah.
with the house all day and intentionally set aside time. Now my phone won't stop ringing.
Oh.
Yeah. We're all
So,
praying for you, Mandy.
yeah.
Uh,
The chat stopped, so I'm probably missing new ones.
well, I had the last one I have is Deanne. With the one before that with
Mhm.
borders is the naked Pam, though I can't think of its real name. Pamela Coleman Smith Tarot. Okay.
Yeah. They destroyed the place, basically, because they were angry. They couldn't stay.
Yeah. Well, you may have. You won't want to do it probably, but you probably have recourse through the court if you want to sue them.
So exhausting. It's so exhausting. Like, why can't people just be nice?
Yeah. I wonder if she's thought about selling that house. I mean, I know that she's got an attachment to it. But anyway, I don't want to get into Mandy's
Yeah.
business.
This is the Mindy Hour.
I had a couple notes. I hope I can minimize this without losing you. I just want to grab my notes because there were a couple things I wanted to talk about today besides my acquisitions. The other thing I got, I don't know if I showed them. No, I've showed them since last time I did a walkthrough of my Muka or Mucha playing cards. I ordered about 5 different decks, playing card decks, since I've been starting to do Marseille. I thought, well, it's a transition from there to reading playing cards. And I've been finding these beautiful decks, art decks. And the only problem with that is the art images are accurate, but they're not, they're randomly assigned. So they're not intuitive decks at all. It's just a playing card deck with different images on each one,
Gotcha.
which is different than what Lois Garabeo did, kind of. I mean, you would know probably from that Impressionist deck. But I found a lot of the Lois Garabeo decks, what they do that bugs me is they'll get an artist to emulate an artist's work or repaint or redraw it. Now, I don't know about the Impressionist one that you have, but I know when I got the Tarot Muka, it's not painted or drawn by Muka. It's in his style and it's pretending to be him, but it's not his art.
Yeah, it's a blend. Some of them are completely right from the artwork, and some of them are made up in their style. So, like, I think this one is made up. So there's the artist is Arturo Pica. So I think that there's cards that are obviously done in just their style, and then there's other ones that I would have to look through.
And how do you feel about that? Are you okay with that, or does it bug you?
I'm okay with that. Yeah, like it's both. Like I actually have this painting here, which is a reproduction of let's see, what is it?
Oh wait,
Yeah,
I should change. Wait a minute. Let me.
that.
Wait, I can fix this.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, so this is actually a reproduction of Van Gogh's painting of the church in Auvers-sur-Oise. And I've seen I think I've seen the original. I don't know, but I've seen the church. So we went to France last year, and I got to see the church. But anyway, but it's a beautiful church, and that is actually where he and his brother are buried. So it's in Auvers-sur-Oise in France, and it's a beautiful little town. But I mean, I'm getting off topic, but yeah, it doesn't bother me enough to not appreciate the deck. So like, it's the borders are kind of unfortunate for me. I get what they were trying to do, like artwork on a wall, and they even have their backs are like the back of a canvas, like a stretch canvas.
I saw that, and that doesn't bother me. Somebody complained that they didn't like that, but
I like it.
I think for me, I would prefer, if they're going to do decks like that, to say inspired by Impressionism or inspired by Mucha, instead of claiming it to be tarot by Mucha,
Yeah.
And now I have the Edmund Dulac, and I believe that one, and the Arthur Rackham and the John Bauer. I think those are all the original images used in those.
I think this is an original Van Gogh. This one is based on the original Van Gogh, but then he added all these, So, but yeah, I like it. It's going to take some time to get to know the deck, because some of the meanings are slightly different, and the images, it's not a direct translation, but yeah, I like it. I mean, I'm a big Van Gogh fan and Gauguin, and I really like Degas and Manet. And so what they do is they have each of the suits based on different artists, based on their personalities, which I like. So Van Gogh is the swords, and Monet is the cups, Degas is the pentacles, and I can't remember what the other one is. But yeah. So, nice. Yeah.
Yeah, Mendy says, I really like that, but I agree with Robin. I prefer if they were upfront about the art sources.
Yeah. I think if you're not familiar with Impressionist art, it's very easy to be, sort of pulled in and not realize that, because like the thing that bothers me is they have the creator's name on it. They do not have the artist's name on the front, which makes it even more deceptive.
Yeah.
And that bothers me. So
we're trying to figure out now how to take you out of solo mode. Kick from studio. I don't want to do that.
Do you have to click on you? No. Bye, Chris. You have a good night.
Maybe if I just go, there, okay.
There we are.
I was thinking of the Lonely Dreamer Tarot. I don't know if you know that one, by Odilon Redon, which I absolutely love, but Melissa Witherspoon that did it, she modified the images to add in sort of ghosted images of swords and wands and things.
I didn't know that.
Makes it more readable, but I'm not sure. I kind of have mixed feelings about it. It makes it more accessible as a deck, but yet it's not strictly honoring Redon paintings. So I don't know. Chris just had to leave. Okay. Oh, he says you're a natural, Kristen.
Aw, thank you.
I forgot to say hello. Did I say hello to Jackie? And Jen, Science to Soul, is here.
Hi, Jen. Yeah, I didn't see her come in. But yeah, that was one of my newest decks, the Impressionist Tarot. I just got the Ancient Italian Tarot, which I like. I haven't blended it yet because I'm still learning Marseille. And so I've just ordered like 3 or 4 Marseilles, and I'm like, but I'm not comfortable reading with them yet. So, but I haven't gotten them yet. So I'm still waiting on them.
Well, I've been reading different books. I'm not really a big book reader. I don't like them if they read like textbooks, but
Mhm.
I've been trying to find books on Marseille, and I've read a few, and I'm not that taken with them. I mean, Camellia Elias was recommended to me. It didn't, maybe I didn't get the right book, but didn't do too much for me. Tom Benjamin's book was recommended. It's good if you want to do, workbook exercises, but that wasn't what I was looking for. Although I'm currently reading The Open Tarot by Yoav Bendov, and I love it. And I
Mhm.
read an earlier book by him, I can't remember the name of, and I like his writing style, and he's really bringing out a lot of stuff for me. So I'm just like in sync with his style, I
Mhm.
guess, or his
Yeah,
way of teaching.
I just started reading his book, so I don't know if it's the same one. I can't remember the title, but it's an introduction to Marseille. I tried to read I can't pronounce his last name. Sure.
Jodorowsky.
Yeah, and it was a little too inaccessible for me.
I've been wondering about him because Bendoff studied with Jodorowsky, so I thought, oh,
Mhm.
maybe I should go, more to the source. Now, I have an issue with Jodorowsky that I don't know if anybody else has, but I remember a midnight movie back from this in the 70s called El Topo. I don't know if you all know that Jodorowsky, before he was into tarot, was better known as a cult movie director.
Oh.
I remember walking out on that movie. It was so severe and so harsh,
Oh.
and it made me so uncomfortable and sick to my stomach. I could not deal with it. And so, in the way a lot of people have feelings about Aleister Crowley, I have similar feelings about Jodorowsky, and I don't know if I can get past those
Yeah.
in order to, take his tarot studies at face value.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I tried to read his book and I don't like to like throw stones. So like I don't want to be too critical, but it just seemed inaccessible. He was just going on and on and on and on about his childhood, and I'm like, just tell me about the cards, you
yeah,
know? And so
maybe it wouldn't
yeah.
work for me either. Now, I do a lot of stuff on my Kindle. So if they have like a preview, sometimes they'll let you read a few pages, and I can
Mhm.
pretty much get a sense of whether I'm going to like it or not by that, and whether or not to go ahead and buy it. So
Mhm.
I might do that.
Yeah, I found it in the library, so I didn't have to pay for it. So that was nice.
Um, One of the things that I thought I found interesting in Bendoff's The Open Reading book, because I've always had trouble with the court cards. And he said something interesting that I'd never thought about in terms of when you think about the progression from page to king, it's sort of like levels of promotion in a way.
Mhm.
Although a page would never become a king, but still it's like, different order in evolution of, the hired help to
Yes.
royalty, I guess.
Yeah.
But anyway, he was saying that they also relate to parts of the body and the corresponding suits, which I thought was intriguing. So pages at the bottom are pentacles. They related to earth, which is
Mhm.
grounded. Then the next up is the knights, the wands, which is fire. That's sort of the groin or the sexual area. Then a little further up with queens are cups, which is water, heart, and emotions. And then you go up to the mind, which is with swords, which is air. That's the kings with mind, thought, and speech. And I thought, oh, this is
Interesting.
really interesting to think about these four suits and these four ranks in the courts relating to the human body from the feet up, to the top of the head.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and so that's really got me kind of. I need to ponder that a bit, but I really like that idea.
Yeah, that might help me because I'm always like just not getting I'll get it and I'll have it, the meaning of the court cards, and then it's gone, and so I really struggle with that.
Another thing I thought about, and Chris I wish he hadn't left because maybe he could help explain this to me again. I always had trouble in the Marseille between the 9s and the 10s because I always look at 10s as completion, but I think he and Mendy both, maybe Mendy can explain it, but it's like that, like 9 is sort of completion and 10 is sort of the step beyond or something. I don't know. I don't quite get it because I always think as 10 of 10 is sort of the end of the line. But if you it makes it a little bit easier if I think about 9 and 10 in terms of like the queen and the king. Like the queen is about, as far as she can get, because she'll never become king as long as they're a king,
Yeah.
And so in some ways she's got security. She's got it all plus security and none of the worries because the king is above her. He's got all the worries. So he's got it all, but he's not only got it all, he's got the bad stuff too. And he can be overthrown, or conquered by another rival.
Well, I mean, historically, kings have also been overthrown by queens, so it does happen. I
Well,
mean, if we're going to take it literally and not just the symbols themselves. So.
Well, I think the point I was trying to make is my general feeling is the queen is very secure in her position. Well, she might not be secure in terms of like, is it Henry VIII or whatever that but in general, she's pretty well positioned. She's secure. Whereas the king, even though he seems like he's got it all, it might be a little bit on shaky ground. There's always the potential that the king will fall. And we see the crown falling from the top of the tower card. And there is, if things are cyclical in the tarot, then you think about, okay, well, then what comes after the king? Well, you start again at the bottom, which I guess is the ace, or the fool. You go round and round, But anyway, these are just little things that came into my head as I was reading his book, and I was
Mendy is talking about what Chris and she sees the 9 and 10. Let's see.
See a 9 is active. It jumped. Completing, and 10 is the realization or living in the completion. Deanne says, yes, that's how I read 9-10 as well. 9 as ending and 10 as an ending and a simultaneous new beginning. But I read page as air and king as earth, so the body thing doesn't work as well for me. I think it's a cool concept, though. Well, I like the idea of the 4, which would be more lowly or closer to the ground, the page. That makes total sense to me. And he's standing on the ground in his cards, whereas the other knight is on a horse, and the royalty are on thrones. So they're above the ground,
Yeah, Deanne, where did you get the associations with page as air? I've never done that, like associating them with different elements. So that's not something I've learned.
Well, it also complicates things when you think about the different suits, because like these combinations, it's like, okay, so the page of cups, is he the pentacle of cups? That it's like the earth of water.
Yeah. So I
go with that. But
yeah, I think they're like, I have heard people talk about, so there's, so you pair fire with water, and that creates a different energy. And so then when you have a fire with the wands, it's like double energy. So I don't know. I haven't I need examples. So I've heard people speak of this, but I haven't been given an elucidation as how that plays out in the reading. So
I think Jen says, I read pages as earth, knights as fire, queens as cups and kings as air. Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Mendy, my elemental associations are completely in disarray because Camellia Elias has different associations for the suits and the courts, so I'm not sure where I stand. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of hit all the topics I wanted to cover already tonight. We've only been on about 45 minutes. I don't know, was there anything that you wanted to talk about, acquisitions or how your Christmas or New Year went, or?
Well, I mean, I think we covered that in the Christmas video. So I don't know, and I can't remember if Mendy's was before or after. So I think that was after. Yeah, because then I showed the decks, I think. I don't remember, but the only one I've gotten since then is the Ancient Italian. Like all the decks I've ordered, and there's even one deck I got for Christmas that still hasn't shown up. So I don't have anything else to show.
I did order 2 more today. I ordered another Paros de Bono deck, another playing card size one, and this one was more expensive, but I really like the coloring on it, and it reminded me of I don't know if you know the Golden Rider. It's again another RWS, but I think Simon and a few people have this Golden Rider deck, but it's really expensive and out of print now. And the cards have a kind of a gold coloring to it. It's not gilded, but it's like the colors are more matte, flat planes of color, but the backgrounds are not like sky and earth. They're kind of gold. And this deck looks like that. And I thought, well, I'd like that. So I ordered that. Then I also ordered a Psychedelic Lenormand deck that looks really cool. The color, it's like very 60s, very modern, and the colors are wild and bright and fun. So, but I'm not really a Lenormand person. I was going to ask you about that because Deanne touched on it in her
no, that was actually the first Lenormand video I've ever watched, and so she was trying to explain to me exactly like the house thing and laying the cards on top of cards and stuff like that. So but yeah, like I don't read Lenormand, but the decks I'm waiting on are there's a Tarot de Paris, the oh gosh, I always screw it up. Dodal, is that how you pronounce it? Yeah, the Dodal Tarot. And then the Madhouse Tarot, the Money Tarot from the same creator as the Madhouse Tarot, and then what's the 5th one? Oh, Tarot de Napoleon. So that was the Christmas gift that I'm waiting on.
Is the Napoleon one sort of historic looking, or?
Yeah. So it has it's a Il Gallo.
Yellow, yeah.
Yeah. It's one of their decks, and so it's yeah. I would wait. What do you mean by that? Is it historical deck?
I mean, does it look? I mean, the imagery, is it like sort of historic images of Napoleon or that era, or that?
Well, yeah, it's like he's the emperor, and so he has his hat and everything, and so Josephine is the empress, and but yeah, it has an older feel to it. I'm not fond of the pips. They're pretty lazy. I was like, that's so lazy because it's just like 5 swords. So like it'll show a sword and a number.
This one's not a modern homage to Napoleon. It's actually a historic deck from that time, or?
I don't think so. I think it was made in the 80s.
Oh,
actually. Yeah.
Tell me about the Madhouse one. I don't think I'd heard about that either. What's that all about?
Yeah, it just came out off the Kickstarter, and it was pretty quick turnaround that he added it to his Etsy shop. And it's basically showing people in psychiatric institutions. And so basically, like I was like, at first I was uncomfortable getting the deck because I thought it would be kind of unsettling for me, with my own history with depression and whatnot. But I think it's a commentary on the experiences of people with mental health struggles, but it also sort of gets to shadow work and whatnot. But also, it shows in the court cards, like artists, scientists, people who other people might have seen as being against the grain.
Is it photographs or illustration?
Illustrations.
Okay.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful deck, and
Would you consider it a dark deck?
I think it, like, you mean aesthetically or topically? Aesthet-
Both, I guess.
oh, aesthetically, no, it's not dark.
Oh
Topically,
no,
I mean,
I don't mean visually. I mean, yeah, I mean subject matter.
I think
Well,
so. I think it makes it, like, the topic makes me uncomfortable, and like there's a like a long history of abuse of the mentally ill in institutions. So I think the deck is actually touching on that aspect of their experiences.
well, the reason I asked was because I know one of the ones that Chris got for the holidays was A Murder of Crows. I don't know if you saw his walkthrough of that.
No, not yet.
It's a very, in my opinion, folks, it's a very dark and creepy deck. It's
Mhm.
beautiful, but it's dark and creepy. And I wonder, I mean, it's one thing to use that to read for yourself, but I wonder how difficult it would be to read for a client, particularly if the subject matter of the query was not a heavy thing. Like, so you suppose someone asks a question about their wedding, would you want to read with
Yeah,
really
no.
gothic, dark, it just seems like that kind of goes against the grain for me. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. Like, I think the Madhouse Tarot is for very specific. Like, I wouldn't read it for someone unless they asked me to read with it for them. So,
I wanted to backtrack a minute because Jonathan Daly says, I've heard that great tarot readers have a hard time with reading Lenormand, and I find that true for myself. Mandy says, I love Lenormand, but I'm no way near a great tarot reader. Blue Crescent, that's how I've always been, reading in a series in a rather Lenormand fashion before I knew what that was. Now, I didn't follow what she was trying to explain about the house earlier today, and I'm not totally into Lenormand, and the cards that have the little inset of the playing card on them always kind of put me off. I have several Lenormand decks, and mine don't have those insets, and the ones that I have don't even have labels on them, just numbers and images. And I kind of treat it like an oracle deck. So I don't know. I don't follow the Lenormand tradition or school or teaching.
mhm.
I don't follow the meanings. I think I've seen a couple of YouTube videos, and it's like, it's a whole different system, and I didn't connect with those interpretations of the images. So I actually read it like an oracle deck.
Okay.
But there are a couple of cards that, like, I don't know what to do with when I get the stork card unless
Mhm.
I think about, babies.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. Well, there's one card that's the whip I saw,
yeah,
and I was like, the whip.
yeah. Oh, well, I guess that could be hardship or abuse or something. I don't know.
Deanne, I think, said it had to do with sort of intimacy,
Yeah, I don't
like
get that
like
connection.
sexual intimacy in the French decks, I think she said. Correct me if I'm wrong, Deanne.
Unless I totally immerse myself in learning that, I have to reject that and just take them at face value,
Yeah.
what they read from me. Another one, there's two cards in the deck. One is the coffin, and the other is the cross. And the cross is usually, like, a lot of times it's depicted as a cross, like a gravestone cross,
Mhm,
And then you have the coffin. Well, they're kind of the same thing for me, so I'm not
mhm.
sure how to differentiate how I would interpret
Yeah.
in a reading. But I do like some of the images. One of the ones I have is um, uh, mystical, the mystical Lenormand, which is really beautiful. It's the first one I got, it's got these little angels in around circle of the heavens looking down
Mhm.
like a window.
Wow.
And then each one is just like this beautiful little, there's the house, like
Aw.
quaint little house, pretty little garden, just beautiful little images that are like tell a story. Here's the man, it's a man holding like a ferret or a weasel or something.
Aw, yeah, a little weasel.
And it's a woman, the woman, she's holding a pig, a baby pig. And so it's just got some really beautiful images. I love this one. It looks like a nun crossing a river or whatever over a little bridge going coming to a crossroad. And so like each painting has its own little story in it that I can interpret more than just the symbol that you usually get in a lot of Lenormand decks. Like here is the scythe. That's another one. If I get
Mhm.
the scythe, I want to read it as like the death card because
Mhm.
scythe in the RWS death card.
Yeah.
And here there's
So
more of a story because it's like oxen pulling a wagon of hay with a scythe precariously perched on the top. So it's almost like each card has its own little story. Here we've got a flaming heart over Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden.
mhm.
This one, I don't know what to make. This is the stork, and it's in a chimney top with a nest feeding her young. And on a window ledge there's a little black baby in a goblet, and I have no idea what the hell that's all about.
What in the world? So did you have a book that went with it?
It does, yeah, but it doesn't go into the imagery. It just goes
Oh,
into interpretations.
I mean, is it about like fertility, babies? Did she just drop that baby off or? So Deanne said the whip is just something negative that is repeating in your life, or with a broom alternate like sweeping the floor over and over.
Okay, it says for storks, the storks denote changes. This can be moving house or a new beginning. If it stands for a person, it symbolizes a kind-hearted woman. Now, I don't get any of that from that image,
Kind-hearted
but
woman.
but I do love these images. They're very pretty little paintings, and every one of them is in a sort of a window frame. So like you're
Mhm.
looking out of a window onto this scene. And it's a
Interesting.
beautiful little deck, and it's not expensive. And there are numbers subtly placed in the corner of the border, and some of them have like a symbol, like a zodiac symbol or something. Um, but you don't need to mess with that if you're not inclined to.
Mhm.
But I like that. And then the other one I got is from I got off Etsy from Tarot by Seven, and this is the Samhain Lenormand, and this one is it's on linen cardstock, and it has these beautiful kind of antique looking backs with a skull in the middle and a really ornate kind of pattern.
Oh, cool.
And then the images are kind of like vintage antique looking images. There's the rider. It's like an
So
old,
through a coffin opening.
yeah, all the frames are coffin shaped. And they did it, I guess, for Halloween or
Yeah,
Samhain. I still can't
that's
get
cool.
over calling it Samhain. If it's spelled Samhain, I
And
want to call it Samhain. And you can't see. I should probably go to full screen. But anyway, it's a pretty little deck on linen stock, and I like the antique images. And this one again just has numbers, no labels, no little playing
Mhm.
card inserts.
Interesting.
Justin has a book on Lenormand, hasn't even cracked it open, gave away most of my Lenormand decks. Yeah.
So I was told by someone that Lenormand is like reading more practical topics, sort of like playing cards, that they're more everyday, like I lost a shoe, where is it, kind of thing.
Well, I seem to recall they lay out all the cards at once, and I think what they call the grand tableau or something,
Mhm.
and you read it somehow like almost like a crossword puzzle, like cards connected to ones around them, like how far away from them they are, or how near they are, what's above it, below it, to either side or diagonally or whatever. But that I don't do big spreads, and that's just kind of too much for me to deal with. I'm very happy with my 3-card spreads. Regina just got the Bluebird one. I thought I would like that because the box is so pretty, but that also has the little playing card inserts, and I think there's a little. I think that's the one that has a little poetic verse on each card too, and I don't need the text like that, like a little poem.
So I'd be curious, people who have stuck around in the chat, like what decks they're waiting on.
Justin wants to take a Kelly Fitzgerald class, and Mindy says you get very blunt answers from Lenormand. Deanne says that can be true, Kristen, but I use it for tarot type questions too. It does make a more clear path to the answer, though.
That's interesting.
Regina got so many decks this year.
Yeah, I saw that, so I was like, well, what decks y'all getting?
Yeah.
Maybe there's like one that people are waiting on, but
I'm in a little bit of a rut. I'm seeing lots of walkthroughs, and none of them are doing anything for me. I'm waiting on the Pablo Robledo that I ordered like a month and a half ago from South America. It's taking a long time to get here. And you saw I just ordered an RWS, and I ordered another one. But in the new decks, there's nothing there really pulling me in, which is just as well, because I'm running out of storage space here.
Yeah, I think that's why I've started buying Marseille decks, is because I'm not really into really modern decks. Even if I could appreciate them, I'm like, I would not read with that. So I'm very, very picky. I just, even like decks where I'm like, oh, like the Sacred Bee, beautiful deck, wouldn't read with it, so.
Well, I'm getting kind of burnt out on the Marseille as well. I mean, I have maybe 4 or 5 of them, and it's funny. On one hand, you've got like Mendy and Masha, who are all about every single version, and Chris Yao, every single version of the Marseille they can get their hands on.
Yeah.
And then you've got people on the other side, like Simon and Melissa Zupan, who are RWS, Pamela Coleman Smith. Every version of that they can get with every slight detail. And both of them, I mean, I'm leaning more in the direction of the RWS, but that's because I'm looking for the perfect one. I'm kind of the same way about the Marseille. It's like, I want to find the perfect one for me, and I don't really need them all. They're so samey to me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really see, I don't tune into those subtle differences in a lot of them, like Mendy and Masha.
Yeah.
I just don't get the appeal of, how many versions of the Marseille do you need? I mean, some of them I like. There are a couple that have like bigger googly eyes and funny expressions, and I kind of like those. And I like it if the clarity of the line work is good and the color palette appeals to me. A lot of the old colors I don't like. So if it's a color palette I like, then I'll go for that. But,
yeah, I only get decks if I'm going to read with them. I don't collect.
Which Marseille do you have? You remember?
I have the CS Arnold.
You're the one then, yes.
Yeah.
You're my pal. That is my absolute favorite one. And now that's a Besançon, so it's got Juno and Jupiter, which I don't really care whether they're in it or not. But I really love the color and the look and the feel of that.
Yeah, yeah, I do too.
It's not only does the card feel really, I love that texture, that feel of those cards, but I also, I don't remember if you had an option on the backs or not. Mine was like white eggshell.
Yeah, I'm not fond of the backs. Like, I'm not into that crackly look.
I like it actually, and I like the dirty quality of it too. Like some of the age dirtiness. This one's artificial, and the dirt's in the same spot on every card. And there was one RWS deck that bugged me on, but for some reason in this one it doesn't bother me. I like it,
Mhm.
and they have an almost milky quality to them or something.
Yeah.
There's something in the imagery that is, I almost want to say like chalky or milky, but it's
Yeah.
not. But it's soothing. It's
Mhm.
comforting somehow.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a
And
lot.
I love the palette. A lot of time I don't like green. I'm fussy about my greens in the Marseille
Mm.
decks. And that one's a kind of a yellow green, and yellow green's my favorite color.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's kind of almost like an olivey sort of somewhere between like olive and kiwi fruit or
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. I like it. I like it a lot. And originally I was just gonna have one Marseille deck, but then Mendy and Masha came along and I'm like, oh, I need to have that one and that
something.
one. So but
I also have his other one, the burnt one, which I didn't get at first because originally it had this weird plaid back that I didn't like, and then he reissued it with a sort of a aqua colored back that I really like.
mhm.
But that one has an acidic look to the palette, like the colors look like citrus fruits or something. It's like
Interesting.
really, yeah. I don't know. Have you seen that one?
No, I don't think so.
Uh,
Not one that looks like fruit. No.
um, ooh, the back. Let me go full screen here if I
Yeah.
can. How do I do that again?
And my apologies if you hear clinking. That's my husband in the kitchen.
That's
So
fine.
oh,
These are the backs, which are
that's beautiful.
dark around the border, and it's just a plain, blue back, and I love this color blue. And then, but these images
Oh,
have, it's a different coloration,
yeah.
but it's like, lemon. It has a bite to it. I say acidic fruit because it's like,
Yes.
makes me think of lemons and tangerines and lime,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh, interesting.
and it's all right, but I still like the Arnaud better. And
Hmm.
this one is not a Besançon. It's the other. But
Yeah. See, I need to learn all that. I don't know all that, like the differences between Robledo and Dodal, and
yeah,
yeah, I don't know any of that. So that's on my to-do list for this year.
the Blue Moon.
Oh, that's beautiful. I like that.
Yeah. I think I showed this to Masha and she preferred this coloring to the art.
Uh-huh. Yeah, like I'm wondering now. I really like that blue.
I still love the Arnaud. It's still my favorite. And then I also, I don't know whether you saw my walkthrough of the Debray Marseille. This one is really new and it's cheap.
Yeah, I saw that on not YouTube, on Amazon.
And this one, I mean, it's cheap. I think
Yeah.
it's under 20. And the cards have a kind of a linen feel, but they're a little bit thicker. Beautiful backs.
Oh, that's lovely.
And I love the colors. They're really bright, cheery.
Wow.
And
That is like the red is really rich.
yeah.
Yeah.
But they have shading. So they kind of remind me a little bit of the Spanish Fournier that has that three-dimensional shading.
Mm-hmm.
And I just like the coloration in this deck.
Mm-hmm. That is nice. So Justin had to leave. Bye, Justin. Probably missed him.
Yeah.
So.
Mandy says, "Me too. I wish I'd gotten that instead." I guess she's talking about the burnt one,
Mm-hmm.
the acidic one.
Well, we've been going on for over an hour, so did you want to end it there?
We can if you've had enough.
Well, I know we're just losing people, so
I know I've been kind of rambling on, and I wasn't sure how comfortable you were with doing readings, but we always
yeah,
have so much trouble getting anybody to supply us with questions.
yeah.
I'm not real good at it. I usually rely on Chris to kind of help me. So
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, next time.
yeah, we can call it a night if you want, unless anybody in the chat has any questions or anything they want
Yeah,
to just discuss.
yeah. If you have any questions for us,
Mindy says the milky quality of those images takes that deck down a notch for me. It kind of bothers me. Okay. She has the plastic version of it.
mm-hmm.
I think, Mindy, I think the other one has sort of a bite to it. The lines are a little bit harsher and they're almost softer. I wouldn't say they're blurry in the Arno, but it has a soft feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like through a little gauze or a coat of
Yeah.
milk or something.
It was actually like the first deck that I saw that looked more muted. Like I was so used to those bright ones with the sharp lines from like Bendov and the Jarovsky dude, and just how bright they were, and that just turned me off.
I had a conversation with Conrad Stain when he put those out, and I said, you know, the Arno reminds me of a warm glass of milk, and the burnt one reminds me of a glass of lemonade or orange juice. And he just got a big kick out of that.
Oh, thank you, Jackie. Yeah, they all knew that I was like so anxious about this, so I really appreciate the support. Yeah.
Okay, is Jackie leaving? Okay.
Yeah, she has to work tomorrow. So
All right. Well, I think this went pretty well. I hope it was okay for you. It was just a little
yeah,
chat. Sorry if I rambled on too much.
no, that took the pressure off me, so I appreciate it. Thank you for having me on.
Well, thank you for showing us the Impressionist deck and contributing your thoughts on card interpretations that I had trouble with.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Well,
All right.
hopefully I'll see you again in a couple of weeks with who knows what surprises.
Yes. All right. Well, you guys have a good night.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.